Welcome to Reality Check, where we decode the drama, debunk the myths, and deep dive into mental health matters portrayed on the TV screen. My name is Selena, and I am a mental health therapist.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I'm the producer and co-host.
Welcome. So we took a little break because holidays.
We did. We took about a 3-week break, just to enjoy Christmas, enjoy New Year's, and do some self-care, and just take a nice break.
Yeah. How were your holidays?
It was good. I spent a lot of time with my kids. They enjoyed opening their presents. And then, of course, my husband, he enjoyed opening his present. Fun fact, my husband is a hunter, and I thought I was buying him like a little target for outside. And it happened that I didn't buy that. I bought a stand for outside.
Some part of a present.
Yeah, well, not even anything he wanted. So it was just funny because it showed the target, and I was like, okay, so it has the target in here. I didn't read that it was the stand for the target.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. I feel like it's not Christmas unless there's like something weird that happens with presents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my mother-in-law and my grandmother-in-law paint my numbers, and I pulled it out. It was a beautiful picture. I bought it offline, pulled it out, and the numbers sections were so small, so tiny, and I'm like, you're gonna need a magnifying glass to paint this.
Yes.
So we'll see how it turns out if they even do it.
They are tiny. They are tiny.
It was like microscopic, like very intense. So we will see. I bought myself one too, so we'll see how that turns out. But Christmas buying present mishaps.
Yeah.
How was your New Year's? What did you do?
It was good. I had my friend over along with the neighbors. And the neighbors have kids, so they all played, and it was a lot of fun. Nice. We had a lot of food. We ordered out. We did pizza along with all the little snacks that are around, and it was really fun. Good, refreshing, laughing, fun times.
Nice.
What was yours?
I went to Chicago, and it was cold, and so we went for the weekend with some friends, and we stayed kind of downtown. And my friends and I decided to take a dance class, and we were going to walk to the dance class, and we walked to the dance class, except it was snowing, like a lot of snow. It was beautiful, very winter wonderland.
Gilmore-y.
Yes, very Gilmore-y. You would have loved it. It was very cold, but the dance class was probably the highlight of my weekend. Something I used to do a lot when I was little. So kind of one of my intentions for the New Year's is to engage in activities that I enjoyed doing when I was little. So I want to take more dance classes this year. I think that would be lots of fun.
I have been looking into adult gymnastics.
Fun.
Because I did gymnastics when I was younger, all the way till I was like 16. And I have not found any that's willing to do that, because spotting an adult versus spotting a kid is a lot different. So yeah, I would just like to just get on the floor just one last time. Like I'm dying. No, just a few more.
There are adult gymnastics classes in St. Louis.
I want to do one. Let's try it out.
Let's do it. I would totally do it with you. It would be terrible. I'd be so out of practice. But
I just want to do one class, because obviously I don't live there. I don't need a membership. But yeah, I would love. Because I just want to do it one time. Just
pull a hamstring and then walk off.
But remind me of my age again. Bye.
Every couple of years I'll see if I can still do a cartwheel. And it's always a fun time.
I can do cartwheels and round-offs and all that. I just mainly want to I've never mastered a back handspring, which I'm fine with. I don't want to master it now. But I just want to flip around the bar, and vault was my favorite. I love jumping on vault.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
let's dive on into season 2 of The Bear, episode 1.
that's right. Do you want to give us like a little recap of what happened? Uh-huh.
So it starts off with the timer, of course. Bang, bang, bang.
Mm-hmm. You love the
And
sound effects.
what?
I love the sound effects.
Yeah, yeah. So it starts off with that. And it flows into like some type of calming music. And I'm really taking note of the music per the scene. Because
Mm-hmm.
with the bear, it really obviously all play like all movies and shows, but it really plays into it. And as it gets calmer, it shows the old restaurant, and it kind of is like a snake. It's like de-shedding its skin, like getting ready for something new. And they're taking down all these photos and all these memories, and then you see the beef go down. And then the chaos happens, which I didn't think was going to be so quick. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
bad. Sydney walks in and, of course, yells her favorite word, fuck, because she spills or drops, like, I don't know,
The
they were
truth.
dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, fuck. And that's when the scene starts. And then it gets to them, and Carmy's in a group with all the staff, along with his sister, Sugar. And remember, in the first season, Sugar wouldn't step foot into that restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So here she is in there, and they're going through all the finances of, we need this, we need this, we need that, we need that. And Carmi's like, okay, 60K, 80K. And Sydney, keeping it real, is like, no, chef, that's 90. No, chef, that's 120. No, chef, no, chef. And he's like, oh, fuck, like,
Mm-hmm.
so much. And she's like, yeah, it's a lot. And then it gets down to the end of where they kind of both look at Sugar, and they're like, we're going to need a project manager.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept yelling for Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Mikey, still downstairs, Mikey. And he said this line that for some reason resonated with me. But he was like, wow, I'm yelling for him and he's not coming. It feels weird. And it just showed me that that's how much he's involved in this project. That's how right-handed of a man he is to Carmy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he takes a minute and he goes downstairs, and that's when Sydney, being Sydney, was like, all right, project manager, will you do it? Can you do it? Can you please? Yeah. Okay, done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, way to be very direct, Sydney. Um, and she's just like, it's not the right time. I just have to think about it. So he goes downstairs, and they're showing Mikey in a different lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey is starting to get in tune with his feelings
Mm-hmm.
and figure out that he's reading this book, which I don't know the net title of, but he just pretty much discussed the character, on how the character is essentially dead weight to the group. He brings nothing. He just stares at his dreams and is a dream chaser, but never like accomplishes them or actually like gets to where he's supposed to be. And he just looks at Carmy and he's like, that's me. Like, hi, I'm that person. Are you going to drop me? Because in the middle of the book, they drop him. And Carmy goes, what happens at the end? He goes, I haven't gotten there. And Carmy goes, let me know when you do. And he's just like, well, you're so happy here and you're so, well established, and you know what you're doing and you're already there. And Carmy goes, what makes you think I'm happy? This isn't happiness to me. And then it gets to this big question of, well, then what is happiness? And he couldn't answer it. Like, he could not answer it, because on the outside looking in, he has it all. Then also within that moment, he told Mikey, I don't have time for this, which he would a lot of the time say in the last season. And now he's like, never mind, I do have time. So he made time for him, which is new. That's all new. This is a new leaf. We're being calm. We're talking things out. And it gets to a scene where they're in the room. And when I say they, I mean Carmy, Sydney, and Sugar are talking about finances, and she leans against the wall, and Sydney leans against the wall, and it breaks in. And that wall was meaningful to Mikey. because it was a Jewish wall. It had like
No, it's not a Jewish wall.
what was it?
He was saying something offensive about the wiring. He was calling it like a Jewish fire. It was
Okay.
meant as a derogatory term, but the poster was meaningful because it was Mikey's poster and it was of the Red Sox.
Okay.
And that's why Mikey was like, "You ripped the poster."
Yes, he was
And
so stuck on that.
yeah.
Okay. So instead of coming in and screaming, he caught himself and he was like, "Why is there a hole in the wall, Sydney? What happened?" And you can see him like really caring about that. And once again, Carmi's like, "Don't forget," and Sugar's like, "I will not forget the hole in the wall." He goes, "No, the project manager, I need you." So it's going to be a family, hopefully a family legit owned restaurant.
Mhm.
Fast forward to the end, they are sitting down and they are saying they're sending out a what's it called, like a proposal.
Mhm.
And they're all sitting there saying their spiel, and the camera pans to the uncle.
Mhm. Uncle Cicero, Uncle Jimmy.
Yes, old sissy, I call him. And he is like sitting there like, "Tell me this. You have, what was it, 3,000 or 300,000. You didn't even tell me that he put it in the bank. Thank God he didn't. But now you're coming to me asking for 500,000? So that's 800,000?" And Carmi's like, "Correct. Like, this is the truth. I didn't want to tell you, but here we are. I need you. We all need you." And then Carmi gets on this bandwagon of once again being Carmi. "If we don't profit in 18 months and we don't pay you back in 18 months, we're done. You get it all. You get all this. You get the building, you get the lot, you get this, da. Like, it's done. We're done." And they're both like, Sugar and Sydney are looking at Carmi like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, but that just shows how much he has faith in the crew.
Mhm.
End of deal. He said, "All right." He asked the question, "When will it open?" And he said, "That's a great question." He said, "Well, that's what great partners do, is they ask great questions."
Mhm. Mhm.
So let's talk about Mikey.
Well, yes, let's talk about Mikey. I feel like he really got his ass handed to him last season, and so he's trying to like turn a new leaf. So when he is talking to Carmi about this book, I wrote it down. It's like this book as he watches his trains, the character in the book watches the trains, and then his friends like outgrow him and leave him behind, and everyone has left him behind, right? So he's saying like he is the kid that watches the train. Everyone outgrows him. They're smarter than him, and he gets left behind, and he feels like he's being left behind. And he's very curious about. He wants to know like what is his purpose? Why is he here? And I think too in that moment
It's a good
when
therapeutic moment.
yeah, such a like and such a like a very close, vulnerable moment between him and Carmi about, hey, I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling like I don't have a purpose. And when because he blurted out, like, do you ever think about purpose? Immediately made me think of the Barbie movie. Do you ever think about dying?
Yeah.
Like just like blurting this out like this thing. And I think it's interesting is I will see that a lot in therapy is that clients will just be like blurt something out. They've been holding it in for a long time and they don't know what to do with it, so they just like blurt it out. Feels very like abrupt. And so in this scene, Carmi's like, I don't have time for this, and he goes to walk away. But then he looks at Richie again and he sees like
The
how
kid.
like yeah like how sad he is, and so he's like, wait a minute, no, I do have time, this is important. And so he notices that sadness because he cares for Richie, calls him cousin even though he's not a cousin, and creates space for him. And then Carmi lets him know, like, just because I love being a chef doesn't mean I enjoy it. Which I want to come back to that. But we also see Richie is taking some deep breaths, and when Sydney falls through the wall, and he's like, 1, 2, 3, and he's very like calm towards Sydney, and you can see Sydney's face like this is not normal behavior of like, what are you doing? But he comes very calm. And then when he says that, he calls the wiring whatever he calls it. He's like, I'm not saying the R word and I'm not saying the F word, or he's like, I will add this to the list of words that I cannot say. So like they're also, it sounds like they're also giving him feedback of like, you can't say that. And so he's taking that and he's like, okay, look at me trying really hard. And it does look like he's trying really hard. He's trying not to be left behind. So I think that's incredible growth on Richie's part.
In that wall moment, I did see he does bring something to the plate that he doesn't realize, and that's a lot of memory of the brother. Remind me what his name is. I don't know the brother's name.
Mikey.
Mikey's the brother?
Mikey's the dead brother, yeah.
Then who's cousin? What's his name?
Cousin is Richie.
Cool. I was calling him Mikey. So,
well,
I opened the segment of calling him fucking Mikey. So yeah, he does bring a lot to the table because he worked very close with Mikey. And so that picture that fell through, he was telling them a little bit of history of Mikey. And you can see Carmy's face be like, just taking it in. Because he didn't know that. He doesn't know anything about Mikey because remember from the first season, he was gone.
Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah,
he does
Richie,
bring something to the table.
Richie, when they were making the budget on the pizza box, they were all like, my thoughts were like, oh, they're doing this as a team. Last season, they were very much not a team. And so this season, they are a team. They're all involved. This is what we need. This is how we're working together. We're taking things off the walls together. We're all putting in effort. We're doing this as a family. And I think Richie he's part of the family, but he's trying to find his purpose within the family.
His place.
Mm-hmm. I also want to talk about Carmy. So his comment about just because I love what I do doesn't mean that it's fun. Like, you can be good at something and it's not fun. I see this a lot in therapy and a lot of people of, well, I love, like, I'm good at what I do, but I don't love it. Then towards the end, they are like wrapping up the day and they're going home, and Sydney and Carmy are having this like awkward conversation about like, it's 5:30 and we're going home, like what are we supposed to be doing? And they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know, probably just gonna go home. And she's like, yeah, probably me too. Both of them have no idea how to have fun outside of work. So then they go home. We see that Carmy goes home and he like sits there and you could tell that he's bored. And then cuts to the scene, like him, Sydney, and Sugar are all in there like, we can't do this in 6 months, we could do it in 3 months. And so like instead of like using that space, and I get that they're on this time crunch and they want to like make the money back and all that, but instead of, enjoying the night off that he has, he's like, no, I'm just gonna double my workload. And they all were in agreement of doubling their workload, which is probably very much in like kitchen culture of like, we just gotta like hurry up and we live here and this is our family and we go home and wash, rinse, repeat. But he had this moment to like be himself, do something he enjoyed, and he had no idea what to do.
Yeah, he saw that CBD on the initials on the chef suit. And I was like, he's going back in, I already know. And of course, and he's already writing on a clear board, like he's already doing it. But he just didn't feel comfortable doing it there. He's like, no, I have to go in. So what was really unique about that scene is he went in and he was like, hey, knowing damn well the other two were already in there. He didn't even have to call them, he knew they were in there. Which just shows that they're all in it. And they also show a big shift change of, let's dive into Sydney on how she is now going to be probably, I think they said like the because Carmy's the head or something like that. And every chef needs like a sous chef or needs like an assistant. And she extended that olive branch to Tina, which was kind of funny because she couldn't say it. She was just like, yeah. And I'm like, just say it, because you didn't have a hard time holding back with Sugar about being the project manager, but you have a hard time with Tina.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I think it's something that she wants. And if she said no, then she's let down and she's stuck looking for someone.
I think that, or also because of the conflict they had in the first season, like she's probably not as comfortable with Tina, and Tina's a little bit older. She maybe represents like a mother figure, so it's hard to like have a big request to someone like that. And ask her like, I don't want to, she's like rambling like, I don't want to impose, and like gives her all of these outs. And so my hope for her is like she builds this confidence, especially if she's going to be in a leadership role. She needs to work on her. Oh, so she's going to be in a more leadership role.
Yeah.
And my hope is that she learns to be more confident when she's asking for something.
Yes.
Like, just come out. You don't win when we're practicing confidence. Sometimes it's better to like rehearse what we need to say if we know that we're nervous about saying it, so that we can go in with a plan, and then not give someone like so many outs. Like a one thing, hey, I want to run this idea by you. You can say no if you don't want to, but I think it would be really cool if you were my sous chef. This would require a lot of training. Take some time to think about it and let me know. But instead she just kept rambling and just kept saying like, you don't have to, you don't have to, you don't have to. And so, but you could see like the joy on Tina's face. She was like, yes. And like she hugged her and picked her up and was so excited. Because Tina's been a part of the family for a long time. And so to give her an opportunity like this probably means a lot to her. She gets to stick around now.
Absolutely. She is, I mean, she's always been in it to win it, but like she kept saying science. I like science. I like to learn. Oh, science. And I'm
The
like,
barkeeper's friend. It's my favorite household product.
mm-hmm.
Not sponsored.
And it not sponsored. And it worked. I mean, when you trust someone, yeah, she's younger than her, but she trusted her and she did something and it showed. I mean, that's like the first season when Carmy was like, okay, put some water in it and throw it under the pan or something like that. And they were like, oh my God, it worked. Like, our food's delicious. It's, better. So, yeah, there was a lot of, I'm older, I'm better, I'm stronger, I'm smarter, and, nothing. Now it's kind of the tables turned in this season. It's you're younger, you're smarter, you're, not better, but you have schooling has evolved. Everything's changed from when we ran it back in, whenever they ran it. But yeah, let's talk about Marcus.
Okay, so in the beginning scene, he is caring for an older woman, presuming it's his mom. And I think later on we do find out his mom, because Sydney's like, how's your mom? And he's like, she's okay. He's like caring for her. It's, I think later in the episode they say the nurse had to take a day off, so my brother, whoever, is gonna like watch her. And so he is like very caring. He like puts lotion on his hand. He like warms up his hands first. He is like gives her like a towel on her head and lotions her body. So I think we'll see more about how that impacts him, because that's got to be really hard caretaking for a parent who, I mean, we don't know the extent of her abilities, but we know that she was bedridden and needs like 24-hour nurse care.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, I just feel like all the characters are growing and evolving. And I mean, look at Sugar. Like we said in the beginning, she is in the bear. And I did catch that when she left, she was walking out of a scene and Carmy said, "Love you, bear."
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. I'm wondering if just like that's a nickname for everyone in the family. I don't know.
I wonder if
He was the bear.
I wonder if she's actually the bear, and he just being a sibling brings it on. Like she probably brings it on in a different way.
I don't know. Like there's like development there, right? But she is hesitant. She's saying she's given hints but I don't want to. To your point of she couldn't step foot in it and now she can. I think because she sees it is changing. It's no longer going to be like the sandwich shop that it was, or like the deli that it was. It's going to be a more fine dining restaurant. And so I think she's also, her and Richie and Carmy, they're all on this like journey to move forward. Like, okay, the first season was very much grieving Mikey and learning how to be in this space without him, and also working together. And so doing that and turning the restaurant into something different that is more theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I can't wait to literally dive in.
Literally dive in.
It's
Well, this has been, is this our second season or third season? This is the second season of The Bear we are diving into. I'm super excited. I have had
oh god, we're in the third season of Reality Check.
Yeah, I thought so.
I fucking opened it with the second. Why am I producer and co-host?
Get together.
I know. Oh no.
Yes, so this is the second season of The Bear. I have gotten lots of feedback about an episode coming up that people cannot wait for us to talk about. So if you have not watched it, catch up. Let's watch it. It's very good.
Is that coming up?
Not the next episode. I think it's like in the middle of the season. You're gonna hate it.
Cool.
With all the yelling.
Oh,
I hate it.
I feel like maybe the viewers like to hear that I don't like yelling. Maybe that's it.
It's relatable. Some people don't like yelling.
It's just annoying. I just think it's pointless and it gets you nowhere.
This is true. It is not productive. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, again, my name is Selena, and just because I'm a therapist doesn't mean that I am your therapist. If something in today's episode has struck a chord with you, make sure that you reach out to your therapist or go seek a therapist.
This has been Reality Check. Bye.
Bye.